これはロサンゼルスに戻ってきた未来への希望と学ぶことを象徴する建物です。
2回も起こった放火事件のダメージから一時的に閉鎖していたロサンゼルスのセントラルライブラリが再開されました。今月の Wow Wow Entertainment Report は The Los Angeles Downtown Central Library からお送りします。
In this edition of the Wow Wow Entertainment Report, Bruce Willis talks about life, love, and his new action thriller, Striking Distance.
Sylvester Stallone tests his fear of heights in the action-adventure Cliffhanger.
Michael J. Fox co-stars with Gabrielle Anwar in the new comedy The Concierge, and Kathleen Turner and Dennis Quaid are spies trying to bring up baby in Undercover Blues.
In our cover story, star couples and their very public divorces.
The latest sounds from Melissa Etheridge, John Hyatt, and saxophonist Candy Dulfer.
All this and lots more coming up on the Wow Wow Entertainment Report. Hi, I'm Mark Joseph.
And I'm Alice Wilson.
Wow Wow Entertainment Report にようこそ。この8階もあるアトリウムはまるで美術館の一部のように洗練された美しさですが、実はここは大々的な修復工事を終えて再開されたばかりの Los Angeles Central Library の中なんです。
2回の放火で致命的なダメージを受け、1986年から閉鎖されていたこの図書館の修復になんと7年と214億円という膨大な時間と費用がかかりました。今ここでは再開を祝福するセレモニーが1ヶ月間も続いています。
美しく改装され拡張されたこのセントラルライブラリの中をこれからご紹介しますが、その前にアリスのハリウッドニュースをご覧ください。
Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation AIDS プロジェクト LA の募金集めのためのファッションショーがあり、大勢のスターが応援に駆けつけました。1億円も集まったこのショーの終わりにエリザベス・テイラーが感謝の言葉を述べ、これからもエイズに対する理解を深めるためにみんなで協力していきたいと語りました。このショーに参加した有名人の中にミッシェル・フィリップス、スーパーモデルのファビオ、ジョイ・ラック・クラブで注目を浴びた女優のミン・ナウェンもいました。
I'm sure you wonder how many more events must you attend? How much more must you give? How many more loved ones must go through this unforgiving experience? Although at times it may seem hopeless and that the nightmare will never end, we must dig down deep and recreate our commitment more fervently than ever before.
The Beverly Hillbillies のプレミアがハリウッドの Man's Chinese Theater であり、出演者たちと大勢のゲストで賑わいました。60年代の人気テレビシリーズを元にして作られた映画で、アーカンサーの田舎で油田を掘り当て、突然大金持ちになったファミリーがビバリーヒルズに移り住んで繰り出すおかしな話です。出演者リリー・トムリン、クロリス・リーチマン、ジム・バーニー、レア・トンプソンが出席し、プレミアの後はヒルビリースタイルの食事とブルーブラスバンドが奏でるカントリーミュージックを楽しみました。
The artwork says, "The world is my book," and that's what this library is all about. 新しくトム・ブラッドリー・ウィンが増築されて、アメリカでなんと3番目に大きな図書館になりました。
ここには現在220万冊の本が収められています。2回の放火でダメージを受けた70万冊の本の 95% が再開されたこの図書館の棚に戻ってきました。これは2000人近いボランティアの人たちのヘルプのおかげなんです。
水をかぶった本をカビから防ぐためには48時間以内に全ての本をフリーザーに入れなければなりませんでした。でも図書館を破壊しようなんて思う人がいるなんて全く理解できませんよね。
ブルース・ウィリスの新作 Striking Distance の中にも理解しがたい人間の行動がたくさん出てきます。リン・ブレイズがブルース・ウィリスの近況をリポートします。
Victim's name is Cheryl Putnam. Thought he was dumped upriver late last night.
Bruce Willis plays Tom Hardy, a Pittsburgh cop on a mission to stop a serial lady killer who's been plaguing his city. The Polish oak killer has managed to narrowly escape the clutches of the law for nearly a year until he meets up with Hardy and his father, the chief of homicide. The confrontation leaves Hardy's life in shambles and his father dead.
Pittsburgh cop that killed these girls. Just ask these guys.
Tom is demoted from homicide for accusing a fellow cop of the murders and is busted to River Patrol. There he sinks into a life of alcohol abuse. It is there he meets his new partner, Jo Christman, played by Sarah Jessica Parker. She turns his life around through loyalty and love. The role was a challenge for Parker to play.
She was strong, and she was a single mother and newly divorced, and the dynamic between a resistant partner who's a male and how to deal with, as a woman police officer. I mean, there were lots of interesting elements there, and that's what I mostly look for.
The odds are against this dynamic duo when it comes to solving Tom Hardy's problems. They include the reappearance of what appears to be the Polish Hill Killer, now a closed case Hardy no longer has jurisdiction over, looming questions about his father's death, and an Uncle Nick, the new chief of homicide played by Dennis Farina, who's determined to keep him from prying into the case.
At the heart of it is a good story about a guy who's wrestling with some pretty weighty things. You know, the mysterious death of his father he's trying to figure out, and this question of loyalty versus honor.
Fans have been loyal to Willis over the years. The star has built his career on playing quick-thinking, hard-edged action heroes. So you may be quite surprised to hear this star say he's merely one of the minions in his rough-and-tumble world.
You know, people think Bruce Willis, big action star, guns, movies, money, everything like that. I have nothing to say about the world that I live in. I'm surrounded by about 15 women. I got 2 little kids, my wife, housekeepers, the cook, all women. I try and get a word in edgewise. It's over. Men aren't in charge.
So you trying to tell me you're whipped?
It's over for me. I'm a shell. I'm empty. I'm a hollow shell. I'm a fraud. I'm a fake. People find me out, it's over. I'll be washing dishes down at the Munson Diner over on 11th and 49th in New York.
You have to take this true confession with a grain of salt, but Willis has made it clear that life as a movie star, with all its perks and glamour, has taken a back seat these days.
Do you ever put this stuff, to the side as the acting comes second now?
Always, yeah. For about the last 5 years it has. And my family is the most important thing. You know, I mean, everything else is kind of secondary to that. My career used to be the most important thing, but, God, it's just movies. You know, it's not like I'm out here curing cancer or anything. We're just trying to entertain people.
Bruce and wife actress Demi Moore will be entertaining their 3rd child next spring. And perhaps daughters Rumor and Scout will have a brother to play with this time around.
So you're looking forward to having another baby, and you want a boy.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, I want to air, I want to have somebody to help me battle all these women in the house.
Now, I wouldn't want to give you the impression that there's a gender battle happening in the Willis Moore home. Quite the contrary. Bruce says he loves Demi and her versatility as a mother and a career woman who can open a movie like Indecent Proposal to the tune of $25 million its first weekend.
My wife's hanging in there. I mean, it's a hard thing to have a baby. It's a hard thing to just say, okay, I'm not going to do anything for 9 months and take a break from what is a very, very, busy, successful career for her, and God bless her.
With his latest film, Willis, too, is back on Hollywood's fast track. On the heels of 2 box office bombs, Hudson Hawk and Bonfire of the Vanities, Striking Distance is a confirmed hit in the States, making Willis a surefire hit both at the box office and on the home front. For the Wow Wow Entertainment Report, I'm Lynn Blades.
セントラルライブラリーの改築には個々の企業の多大な協力がありました。この235人収容できるホールもその一つで、最新の技術を誇る照明と音響のシステムが加わっています。このマーク・テイパー・オーディトリアムではスペシャルイベントやコンサートなどが開かれます。
こんな風に素晴らしい施設を備えていると、図書館がただ単に本を読み、リサーチをするところではなくなり、いろいろなライブパフォーマンスも楽しめる社交の場に変わります。
メロサ・エストリッジもライブパフォーマンスに強いミュージシャンとして知られています。最近プライバシーを告白して話題になった彼女にアンディ・カーペパーが会ってきました。
The song is called I'm the Only One from singer Melissa Etheridge's latest album, Yes I Am. Like the title, Etheridge is an emphatic, independent-minded woman who knew early on, growing up on the prairies of Middle America, this Kansas girl was going places.
If you'd asked me when I was 8 years old what I wanted to be when I grew up, it was I want to be a singer, I want to be a star, I want to be, those little kid dreams.
At 32, this entertainer's little kid dreams have come true in a big way. Her single, Ain't It Heavy, earned her the Grammy this past year for Best Performance by a Female Rock Vocalist. It may have been sweet vindication for Etheridge, whose music is so message-heavy, she's often fought the image of being labeled a folk singer. But her heart is in rock, as she explained at the Grammy Awards.
I actually turned down to do MTV Unplugged because I wanted to be known more as a plugged-in artist, because everyone thought I was very folk. So then all of a sudden Unplugged got very, very famous and the thing to do, and I kind of think maybe I made the wrong choice, but I wanted to be known as a rock and roll artist before a folk artist.
You know the out loud and proud Ms. Melissa Etheridge.
Though Etheridge belts her sometimes raucous music like a rocker, she invites comparisons to American folk artists from the protest years of the 60s. She's just as comfortable showing up alone with her guitar, ready to sing a song for a cause. It may be women's issues, gay and lesbian rights, or presidential politics. It was law professor Anita Hill's charges of sexual harassment at the Supreme Court confirmation hearings of Clarence Thomas that pulled her into politics and radicalized her music. Witness her video, 2001.
Wait a minute, this affects me personally. I'm a woman today. I'm a single woman doing, this working woman. Wait a minute. And I got very much on the issue of equality on all levels.
With her fourth album, Yes I Am, Etheridge takes a more personal look at relationships. The often outspoken woman is also out in her personal life. Openly gay, Etheridge shares a 5-year relationship with director Julie Cypher, who directed her in Let Me Go. It's a rare admission for a performer, but Etheridge has few qualms.
I know there are hateful people out there, but I think that the more self-confidence and self-respect that we have, the easier it gets and the more people respect it, because people respect self-respect is basically what I'm trying to say.
Listen carefully to the lyrics of Etheridge's songs, and you'll pick up clues to the source of her strength and resolve. She often sings of angels, a reference to the spiritual center in her life.
Without getting too mystic here, I just truly believe that I don't think this is all there is. I think that this is one area of what there is, and behind this curtain there's more, and I choose to believe that, and that's what I mean by angels.
Etheridge says when she's singing, she's talking with her angel, and she says just that in the title of a song on her current album. But she's also talking to a world of music lovers, hoping all the while that someone's tuning in to hear what this rock singer has to say. I'm Andy Culpepper for the Wow Wow Entertainment Report.
コンサートに力を入れる彼女は、スティンやフィル・カウンズのショーをプロデュースしたヒュー・パジェムに自分のショーのプロデュースも頼んでいます。
来年の1月にツアーをスタートする彼女ですが、ぜひ日本にも行ってみたいと言っています。Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Melissa Etheridge, and I would like to say hello to all my friends in Japan who are watching Wow Wow.
全部で8階もあるこの建物の中は異なった7つの部門に分かれています。今私たちがいる International Languages Department には28カ国語で書かれた17万冊の本が収容され、なんと20カ国から毎月取り寄せた250冊もの雑誌があります。もちろんその中には日本語の本もたくさんあります。
ゆっくり座って本が読めるようにあちこちに座り心地の良い椅子が備え付けられてあります。聞くところではこの図書館を設計した人たちが読書用の椅子が特に日当たりの良い窓辺に置いたそうです。
世界中から取り寄せた雑誌を読みにやってくる人も大勢います。ハリウッドのニュースは常に世界中のメディアを沸かせますが、 スターたちのプライバシーは相変わらず注目の的です。特に誰が誰と別れたという話題にはみんなが飛びつきます。アンディ・コーパプの今月のカバーストーリーをご覧ください。
Hollywood invented the ideal or idealized American marriage in such films as The Best Years of Our Lives. But marriage in this company town has proven to be more battlefront than beachfront. Each year there is a rash of celebrity divorces.
I swore I would never marry an actress, and sometimes I still feel that way.
Hollywood couples like film and television star Burt Reynolds and actress wife Lonnie Anderson, along with actor-director Woody Allen and Mia Farrow, have received some of their worst reviews this year, not for inabilities on screen, but for their failed performances off-screen. Their separations and child custody battles made incessant headlines for no reason other than their celebrity status.
I know what that's like to have your trials and tribulations sensationalized and trivialized in the press.
I don't want to have to look at a cover of a magazine and necessarily see Lonnie and Bert or Woody and me. I mean, who cares? That's their life, you know.
But their lives make for easy gossip, and during the last decade, such gossip has fueled dozens of TV shows and tabloids willing to splash the sordid details of stars' lives on their covers and airwaves. You'd think the media scrutiny alone would be the biggest obstacle to a successful Hollywood marriage. But there's something else at work in Hollywood that's derailing celebrity couples. Beverly Hills attorney Howard Blumenthal has handled numerous celebrity divorces. He places most of the blame squarely on the business itself.
Unless someone's willing to bend, is going to break eventually. Unless somebody wants to work at it. And you know what? Someone may be so busy working at his or her career, he may not give a damn.
Creating a multi-million-dollar career takes total commitment. Each hour spent in makeup, in production, or on the road may be time spent away from the marriage.
But I got something that I just can't wait to say.
Country western singing star Kenny Rogers and wife Mary Ann had a storybook romance. He was a star before they met, but became a superstar after they married. It meant much more work and more time apart. Finally, after 15 years together, the marriage crumbled this year.
I'm gone 2/3 of the year, you know, and I think that I grew, and I think Mary Ann grew, and we grew separately. We grew apart, and that's not necessarily good.
Now, are you looking for something special today?
Yeah, I'd like your head on a stick.
Another example, when Ted Danson reported for work to co-star with Whoopi Goldberg in Made in America, he seemed as devoted a husband as any in Hollywood. But after 10 weeks on location together, Danson and Goldberg were both in different places, emotionally and otherwise. Danson's wife Casey has filed for divorce, and although neither is talking, Whoopi is now the woman seen at Ted's side.
No, so what's going on? Are you guys?
I don't know.
That
does it.
Must get lonely on the road sometimes.
No. Like anything else, you're born to it.
The upcoming Flesh and Bone will be the first movie Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid have made together since they married in 1991. Their relationship is strong now, but is constantly challenged by the success of the many films they make apart.
For us, it's the difficulty comes in a lot of this sort of estrangement in terms of, you know, he has to go there and do his movie, and I have to go over there and do his movie, and so that's hard.
Another show business drain on a Hollywood marriage is ego.
You know, you look at wealthy men or wealthy women or successful men or successful women, they're all somewhat self-indulgent because they can afford to be and they have the options, you know. And I think that is not conducive to good marriage. I think that marriage is really something where you have to struggle together.
And struggling together is something Alec Baldwin says he and his new bride Kim Basinger know all about. They've discovered that the only way to make a public marriage work is to keep it very private.
We go to unimaginable lengths to keep ourselves out of the papers. It's not like they're things that we cultivate. We're not somebody who seeks that kind of stuff. And I think that that's an important distinction.
Another distinction. Hollywood couples who've discovered that the only way to survive in this company town is to leave it.
We don't spend a lot of time in Hollywood, and we don't really participate in Hollywood that much anymore.
DeAndre and I moved out of
Hollywood about 13 years ago. And I think that that's allowed us, in terms of when I'm not working, to spend more time together.
In or out of Hollywood, marriage is a difficult proposition in any walk of life. And while celebrities may have the odds stacked against them, some do manage to beat those odds. With 4 busted marriages behind him, Rogers thinks he's finally learned something.
The communication is to love what blood is to the body. Without it, it dies. So if you're not there to communicate, you can't really salvage very much.
For the Wow Wow Entertainment Report, I'm Andy Culpepper.
セントラルライブラリーが初めて開館されたのは1926年で、今では歴史的な建物として National Register of Historic Places に登録されています。1980年代に入ってからは火災防止装置もエアコンもない不便さが目立ちだし、その上収納されている本の 85% が一般来会者の目の届かないところに保管されているという不備な点が問題になり始めました。
でも新しいセントラルライブラリには本の自動回収、自動保管システムが設置されています。離れたところにある本はコンピューターシステムに乗った自動運搬機で案内デスクまで運んできます。
次はオリジナルの壁画に囲まれたランデージ・ラーニング・センターをご紹介します。その前にマークがキャトリーン・ターナーとデニス・クレイドが子育てに励むスパイの夫婦を演じるアンダーカバー・ブルーズの紹介をします。
What line are you in?
Brain surgery.
I'm an airline pilot.
I'm an Electrolux salesman.
Actually,
We're in espionage. We're in espionage.
And that's the truth.
Meet Jane and Jeff Blue, a married couple on vacation in New Orleans with their new baby girl in tow. They also happen to be spies, and even though they're on maternity leave, they just can't seem to leave their work behind.
Next time, Buy American.
Played by Kathleen Turner and Dennis Quaid, the Blues are a cross between James Bond and the 1930s Myrna Loy and William Powell film series, The Thin Man. That combination is exactly what attracted Turner to her role in Undercover Blues.
I wanted to find something like that. And so Undercover Blues came along, and it had a good sense of comedy of its own, you know, kind of wit, a pace.
Dennis Quaid felt the same way, but he also took the role because he wanted to work with Turner, and the chemistry between the two shows up on screen.
Well, that's part of what makes it work, I think, and you can't predict that, you can't manufacture that. And she's such a fine actress, and she's very brave. She'll try anything.
Anything includes taking 6 weeks of Aikido lessons to prepare for this very physical role.
Wait till you see what I got for you.
So far, I'm not very impressed. I'm not as good as it would appear to be in the film. Those were carefully choreographed and well-rehearsed fights. But it's very intriguing, the discipline. I like it very much.
Quaid, who's had his share of movie fight scenes, was glad to sit back and let Turner do all the work.
Yeah, I get to sit on the sidelines and just sort of rest. Make comments.
But those comments didn't include any fighting tips.
I didn't give her any tips about that. She doesn't need any tips on how to beat anybody up. She's really I wouldn't mess with her.
And there are plenty of fight scenes in this action comedy as the Blues go after an international spy ring that's stolen a secret weapon. Physical scenes were a lot of fun for Turner, but...
We had fun the whole time. It was tough. I mean, some of it. I mean, New Orleans in the summer is not for sissies. You know, you got to be on your feet 14 hours a day down there in that heat and humidity. And it's stamina time. How long can you tread water?
Meanwhile, Quaid, who has a baby boy in real life with actress wife Meg Ryan, fell in love with one of his co-stars, little Michelle Schulke, who played the Blues' baby girl.
I love that little girl. She was really quite something, and we didn't have a double for her or anything, and she was there on the set. She showed up on time, you know, never complained.
The baby also had her own major stunt in the film. When production began, she was too young to walk, but at the end of the film, there's a scene where she takes her first steps. She delivered like a pro.
And the week that scene was scheduled for, she started walking. It was like, I don't believe this kid, you know, it was perfect. Come on, Mommy, come on, Mommy. Come on now, Daddy's gonna be so surprised.
Central Library の元の建物は著名な建築家バートラム・グッドヒューがデザインしました。彼はこの図書館のテーマである The Light of Learning、学問の輝きを表現するために画家、彫刻家、詩人、 哲学者などの協力を求めました。
ここがランゲージ・ラーニング・センターです。ジュリアン・ガーンズィと A.W. パーソンズの共同作品アイヴァン・ホー・フリーズのオリジナルの壁画をご覧ください。実物大の人物はソー・ウォーター・スコットのアイヴァンホーに出てくるもので、ロマンと騎士道精神にあふれていた時代を物語っています。
このマルチメディアの設備はオーディオ、ビデオ、コンピューターのソフトウェアを使って500の異なった言語や方言を学べるようになっています。
この図書館の放火事件はロサンゼルスの史上最悪の火災と呼ばれるほどひどいものでした。セントラルライブラリーがこうした悲劇を乗り越えて今に至ったように、シンガーソングライターのジョン・ハイアットもいろいろな悲劇を乗り越えてより味のあるミュージシャンになりました。ジュニン・シュローがリポートします。
It started back in 1963. His mama wouldn't buy him that blue red harmony.
John Hyatt usually sings about what he knows best, his life. While he's not a household name, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone in the music industry who hasn't heard of him. He's known as the songwriter and has penned songs for such diverse singers as Bonnie Raitt, Paula Abdul, Willie Nelson, and Bob Dylan. But when it comes to performing, he's never shared the commercial success of most rock stars.
And I feel like such a rock star. I don't understand it. I even look like a rock star. What am I doing wrong, Janine?
Hyatt first picked up the pen, paper, and guitar at the age of 11. Now, at 41, he still remembers his first song.
I didn't have a girlfriend, but a buddy of mine, I think we were in 6th grade, and we were just kind of starting to check out the opposite sex, and he had a girlfriend, and so I wrote a song about her.
A lot's changed since then, having just released album number 13 called Perfectly Good Guitar. If you pick up albums number 1 through 12, you're likely to hear Hyatt's life stories through his songs, but not necessarily on this one. It's much less autobiographical and more emotional.
In the past, he earned critical acclaim by converting his personal tragedies into heart-wrenching recordings. He had a childhood marred by trauma when his older brother committed suicide and his father died 2 years later. Hyatt was a shy, awkward, and overweight kid who dropped out of school at 16 and turned to music, alcohol, and drugs for a cathartic release.
I had such a drinking and drug problem. My entire life was, every moment of my day was devoted to feeding that beast, so I didn't have any time to, in the end, to write songs or sing or do anything.
It is a hurting thing you don't want to talk about. Pain in your heart, well, it's taking your breath away.
Hyatt says he hit rock bottom and was only brought back up by yet another tragedy. His first wife committed suicide, leaving him to raise their then 1-year-old daughter. He quit drugs and alcohol, cleaning up his body and mind, and subsequently his life.
I think the big lesson I've learned is that the only enemy I have is between my ears. That's my biggest enemy.
Hyatt has since remarried to a woman he met in his recovery program. Together they have 3 kids, 1 each from previous marriages and 1 together. In fact, it was his 15-year-old stepson who inspired this new album by introducing him to bands like Nirvana and Faith No More. So now his music has a rock sound with a message.
I kind of have always written these songs with the idea that I can communicate to somebody that I feel a certain way and hopefully have them say, yeah, I've felt that way too. Because if I don't know that other people have felt that way, then I think I'm crazy.
Hyatt and his family now call Tennessee home when he's not touring. He's tapped into the lush countryside for just the right dose of inspiration for his songs.
I'm just kind of a kid from the Midwest, basically, and I'm easily distracted by the bright lights.
Judging from his new CD, Hyatt is a veteran musician who's not daunted by the latest trends.
I don't know who they think they are, smashing a perfectly good guitar.
If I could characterize this record in one word or less, I would think the word would be juicy.
I'm Janine Sherrill for the Wow Wow Entertainment Report.
John Hyatt はいつも若いミュージシャンに注目していますが、School of Fish のリードギターマイクル・ウォードや Wire Train のドラマーブライアン・マクラードを誘って最新アルバムを完成しました。
このアルバムに協力したミュージシャンたちは実際彼の子供と言ってもおかしくないほど若いんです。ところで彼の本当の子供たちもお父さんの新しいサウンドを大いに気に入っているそうです。
Hello, my name is John Hyatt, and you are watching Wow Wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Wow Entertainment Report. The Los Angeles Central Library の素晴らしいアトリウムの2階にいます。見る角度によって新しい発見ができる Tharman Stratum の目を見張るようなシャンデリアがこの建物のどこにいても見られるようにデザインされています。パームツリーを思わせる4メートルの高さの4本のフロアランプがアトリウム全体を照らします。
この図書館の拡張計画がスタートした時、ロサンゼルスに住む5人のアーティストを雇い、なんと5000万円を投じて1926年以来のオリジナルアートや壁画とうまくブレンドするコンテンポラリーアートの制作を頼みました。
これからこの建物の中でも最も美しいと定評のあるウォタンダにお連れしますが、その前にマークのハリウッドニュースをご覧ください。
今度は70年代のスタイルで話題を呼んでいるマドンナが The Girly Show のアメリカツアーをニューヨークのマディソンスクエアガーデンでスタートしました。ブロンドのアフロヘアにベルボトムのパンタロンを履き、これなどのヒット曲や最新アルバムエロティカからの新曲を歌って満員の会場を沸かせました。2時間続くこのショーの間になんと9回も衣装を変え、重さが15万キロもある凝った舞台装置の中でいつもながら何も恐れぬ大胆なパフォーマンスを見せました。スティーブン・スピルバーグとジョージ・ルーカスが母校 The University of Southern California School of Cinema を訪問し、大勢のファンから大歓迎を受けました。去年がんで死亡したタイム・ウォーナー社の会長スティーブン・ J ・ロスの貢献を称える式典に出席したもので、ダスティン・ホフマン、ジョン・センゴトンも同席しました。スピルバーグ・ルーカス両監督は大学の映画・テレビ部門に2億円を寄付し、映画業界がこれからも学生の支援を続けるように希望しているそうです。
I think it's important for the industry at large to understand that this is where the talent comes from, and that the whole wellspring of the creative part of the industry starts in the film schools, and I think it's great that they're starting to give back.
素晴らしい壁画をご覧ください。このロタンダの中の壁画の修復は最も目を見張るものだと言われています。火災が起こるだいぶ前からここの壁画は汚れてかなりくすんでしまっていたんです。
ディーン・コーンウェルによるこの壁画はカリフォルニアの歴史を4つの部分、発見、ミッションの創立、アメリカナイズされていく時代、そしてロサンゼルスのスタートに分けて描いています。
シルベスタ・スタローンの新作クリフハンガーに出てくる北イタリアのアルプスとスタローンの彫刻のような体はここの壁画のように息を飲むほど印象的です。アンディ・コーペパーがリポートします。
I'm just hanging out, Jess. Well, I don't recognize the face, but the bed does look vaguely familiar.
The opening moments of Sylvester Stallone's film Cliffhanger illustrate vividly where the film gets its title. This picture is all mountain climbing all the time and signals clearly that Stallone has returned to the action-adventure genre that rocketed him to stardom. Stallone's on-screen attempts at comedy have not been successful in the United States, and this picture is definitely a return to his roots. The story is about a mountain climbing rescue team who run afoul of an international criminal mastermind whose plane crashes in the American Rockies. Stallone and Northern Exposure television star Janine Turner are team members. John Lithgow is the bad guy. The actors did many of their own stunts, hanging from thousands of feet straight up.
I read that you have a fear of heights.
Oh, yeah.
How on earth did you convince yourself to do this?
Well, I knew I needed something different in my life, a whole different career move, and something to really challenge me. And it's always been kind of superstitious with me. Whenever I'm afraid of something, I have a fear of it, and I usually attempt it, it turns out to be lucky for me, good.
There was a shot where you are on a rounded, kind of rounded bluff of a cliff.
In the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shot here, I think.
Yeah,
It starts there.
and I'm thinking, now, how could they fake that?
You don't. You don't fake it.
And he didn't. Director Rennie Harlan of Die Hard fame saw to that. And when the actors balked at trying a stunt, Harlan did it himself to prove it was safe.
Even if you put a safety wire on me and told me to go out there and jump over the ledge and it would be fine and, you know, I'd get paid a lot of money to do it, there's no way.
But if I did it first, would you do it?
My mother used to say, if Joey jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff? Didn't your mom ever say that to you?
Yes, but obviously Stallone's mother didn't say that, so it didn't work for him.
Turner's most vivid memory is of the film's last scene, shot 10,000 feet high on a mountain ledge.
That was the highest point in the Italian Alps. And we were up there most of the day, and during that process, we're hooked to the edge. The edge. We're on the edge. And when I saw the movie and they pulled away, I couldn't believe I did that.
But she did, suffering bruises and a near concussion in the process. Stallone sliced his hand open in one take when the fight scene became too realistic. Did he have something to prove?
What makes a guy like you put his life in jeopardy like that to make a movie when you could just go out and live for the rest of your life and not have to lift a finger?
I don't know if it stems from maybe an early inferiority complex that I strived to overcome or something like that. I never felt as though throughout my life that I was as good as the other guy, and I always had to work harder at it, proving I guess it's called validation. So I'm constantly trying to validate, like, you haven't lost it, you're still okay, you still have a little edge.
Actually, a lot of edges here, and most of them mountainous, just the way Stallone likes it.
Every one of us, whether we know it or not, are climbing a mountain. How high we want to get just depends on how much fear we're willing to swallow.
But Stallone has had little to fear this year. On top of the world in real life, with longtime girlfriend Jennifer Flavin, he has yet another action-adventure picture, Demolition Man, lighting up the box office.
Believe me, that's no picnic either, Demolition Man. Listen, working with Wesley Snipes is rough.
I'm Andy Culpepper for the Wow Wow Entertainment Report.
増築した部分のチーフデザイナーノーマン・ファイファーの最大のチャレンジは1926年からのオリジナルアートと新しいアートをいかにうまく結合させるかでした。
オリジナルの建物の天井に描かれていた絵が新旧のアートのバランスを取る中心になりました。今の図書館の中の特注のカーペットはオリジナルの建物の中で最も生き生きとしたデザインだった天井の壁画や模様を反映しています。
サクソフォンは男性の専業のように思われていました。この世界に入り込んだ女性はこれまでほとんどいませんでしたが、オランダからやってきたサクソフォンプレイヤーキャンディ・ドルフがそれを変えました。エリック・アランがリポートします。
In a world where most famous musicians are men, a woman, and a young one at that, is making waves not with their voice, but with their saxophone. Candy Dulfer plays a funky sax that anyone would admire, but this 23-year-old from Holland started early. The daughter of Dutch saxophonist Hans Dulfer often found her dad's saxes lying around the house, so she picked one up and learned to play.
How early did you start playing sax?
Well, I was 7 when I really started playing saxophone, and mainly because I saw my father doing it so much. You know, he's a tenor sax player, and I started out singing and playing the drums, but that was soon I went over to the saxophone, and I really loved it. But I think the main reason at first for me to continue was the praise, of my father and my mother. We said like, oh, great, That was the first idea I had about, oh, I'm going to do this. I get a lot of compliments,
Candy moved out from behind her father's shadow with a song that put her on the musical map in many countries. On the 1991 instrumental hit, Lily Was Here, Dulfer played the haunting sax response to David Stewart's guitar. In In a world where most of the top-selling songs are sung, instrumental hits are rare.
It was very rare. I mean, Dave Stewart, who wrote the song, forecasted it all. He said, like, oh, this is going to be a huge hit. And I was like, yeah, sure, you know, especially because we recorded it in about 5 minutes before I left. So he said, oh, this is going to be great. Just, you know, just watch this. It's going to be a big hit.
For everybody out there that's trying to figure out how to make it big, Candy has done the 5-minute hit.
But it doesn't work. It only works once. Because we tried it after that and tried to make a real simple song and it doesn't work.
Is it harder to be a star when you play an instrument and it's not your voice?
I don't think it's harder. It's even easier because, I mean, first of all, it's the closest thing to the human voice, so it can be very personal. But also, it's much more abstract. I mean, when you use words, it's like, I love you not. It's very limited, you know. And with saxophone and instruments, you can really create more of a mood. You don't have to say things. You can just let people have their own imagination going.
It may have been a hit, but this one song in particular wore thin for Candy.
Tell them the story about how your friends used to drive you crazy after the Lily song.
Well, you know, it was a time that it was played really a lot on the radio, and I was really happy with it because it became a big hit. But what people used to, you know, it's a very nagging song if you think of it.
Na 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 na.
Right, and that's what friends would do, you know, sneak up behind me and say, and I was like, no, you know, who does this? But the old man went on there. We're still friends.
Before making that big break with Lily Was Here, Dolfer worked mostly as a studio musician until Prince announced her to the world in a big way with his Party Man music video.
But when I want sex, I call Candy, 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 Candy.
Quite an introduction for you on his video.
Yeah, I mean, that's the greatest thing about Prince. If he has somebody who he wants to launch, you know, wants to launch their or his career, he'll go out of his way, he'll do anything. And it was fun, you know, and the whole shooting of the video, but then a lot of people said, like, oh, it's so sexy, and I was like, what? You know, he just means saxophone, it's, you know, it's and people just don't get it, that, you know, they really like it, but they do think there's always something going on between Prince and his, you know, and his leading ladies, or how do you call it? I see him as maybe an uncle or something, you know, the age difference is also so big, and I've never had any romantic inclination with anybody musically, I must say, because musicians are pigs. No, I know them, and you shouldn't get involved with any musician.
1, 2, 3.
Although Candy holds to her rule of not dating other musicians, she barely has time to date. Lately, she's been busy traveling the world, publicizing her second album entitled Sax A Go-Go, a silly name Candy made up herself. But if fame comes and goes quickly for Candy, she claims that she really doesn't care.
It's not what it's, you know, all about. I mean, it's all about music, and the most money or the most success in the world can't make you a better saxophone player, and that's what it is. And I've just, you know, wanted to start out, be one, you know, be a good player.
Excuse me, this girl is not yet spoiled.
Where's my limo?
And even with the limousines, concert tours, and at least one hit record to her name, Candy says she's not yet up to par with her instrumental heroes.
I always see myself doing interviews and people going all this hoopla about me, and I think like, oh my God, I hope David Sanborn is watching now, you know, something like that. So I hope people know that I have such a long way to go as a saxophone player, and I'm just enjoying myself right now.
Okay, so I want you to know that, here, it's okay to pat yourself on the back.
Okay,
well, you're doing a great job.
I'm Eric Allen for the Wow Wow Entertainment Report.
キャンディのお父さんは彼女にサクソフォンを教えてくれたこともなければ、吹いてみろと勧めたこともないそうです。でも家中にいろいろなサクソフォンが置いてあって、12歳の時にその一つを手に取ったのがきっかけとなって、女性サクソフォンプレイヤーが生まれました。
キャンディは自分がプロのミュージシャンとして成功するなんて夢にも思っていなかったそうなんです。将来はおじさんの船で働くことになるだろうと思っていたそうです。Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Sayonara, everybody in Japan. This is Candy Dolfer, and you're watching the show Wow Wow.
Someone like you makes it hard to live without somebody else makes it easy to give. Never think about myself. If I gave you time to change my mind, I'd try to leave all the past behind.
本は世界を広げ、イマジネーションを拡大してくれます。Children's Literature Room は確実に子どもたちの未知の世界への好奇心を刺激し、読書を増してくれるはずです。一般的に図書館を利用する人たちはこじんまりとした雰囲気を好み、大勢の人が一緒に座る大きなテーブルよりも4人掛けのテーブルを好むそうなんです。それをもとにしてデザインされたこの部屋では全てが子供用のサイズに縮小されています。
アーティストアルバート・ハードによるカリフォルニアの歴史の壁画が見られます。優雅でカラフルでロマンチックなカリフォルニアの初期の雰囲気が見事に描かれています。
マイケル・ J. フォックスと新人ガブリエル・アンワーが主演するコメディ The Concierge はニューヨークが舞台です。この映画は愛とお金のどちらが大切かと問いかけてきます。
Doug! Oh, Doug!
Come on, Doug. Mr. Doug.
In The Concierge, Michael J. Fox is Doug Ireland, a concierge who is pulled in several directions. His job is to please the demanding guests of New York City's posh Bradbury Hotel. That includes everything from scoring the hottest tickets on Broadway to entertaining their pets.
So, you guys planning on seeing any shows while you're in town?
But even though he's paid to pamper the patrons, what Doug really wants is to be his own boss. He dreams of owning his own hotel, which he envisions down to the smallest details.
The River House is good.
8 different kinds of wine by the glass, pistachio nuts out of the shell.
You really can't see it, can't you?
Been that way most of my life.
But playing the always available genie in a suit leaves little time for Doug's secret ambition. A concierge's job is never done, and the clients often ask the impossible. That's why when the mogul who can finance the Doug's dream hotel asks him to babysit his girlfriend, Doug can't say no.
Christian asked me to keep you company, and I'm happy to do him a favor.
Happy but at odds, because Doug has a crush on the mogul's mistress as well. Gabrielle Anwar plays a perfume saleswoman who has her own secret ambition of becoming a nightclub singer. You may not recognize the British-born actress since she was virtually unknown until she tangled her way into the spotlight in Scent of a Woman with Al Pacino. In The Concierge, Doug, like most movie heroes, is forced to choose between chasing his dream or following his heart. Keeping the financier and his girlfriend happy ultimately means making the choice between love and money.
It's nice when everyone gets what they want.
The whole movie is about getting what you want, and the point of the story is, 3/4 of the way through, nobody knows what they want.
Unlike his character on screen, Fox, who's achieved superstardom with the American TV series Family Ties and the Back to the Future trilogy, isn't motivated by material things anymore. Now, a husband and a devoted father, his dreams are still lofty, but much simpler.
I'm a big dreamer, and I always have been a big dreamer. My dreams are not specifically goal-oriented, but I think about catching the world's biggest trout.
Another hit movie seems to be eluding the actor as well. Having recently completed 2 films that flopped at the U.S. box office, Life is Mikey and Secret of My Success, Fox is now switching gears and directing his own film. He's now directing as well as starring in 40 Wishes, a drama about America's so-called X generation, those in their 20s who can't duplicate the success of the baby boomers. As for his co-star, Gabrielle Anwar is now preparing for an important production of her own, off-screen. When we talked to her, she was 8 months pregnant. Although she won't say who the father is, she's excited to be a single mom. Anwar also says she enjoyed playing her first role with a New Jersey accent.
Irvington, New Jersey, she's this tough cookie, and she has this great relationship with her mother who was involved in the script and so on. And so that was fun.
And unlike Fox, Anwar, a Hollywood novice, feels stumped by having to market her work.
It's one thing stepping into a character and doing whatever the hell you want to do, but then just sitting here being yourself, it's like, what do I say?
The film returns Fox to physical comedy, a familiar territory for the actor. He's also comfortable with the movie's message that good things come to those who understand the importance of human relationships.
I think also these movies make a point that you may think by making a human connection or, meeting someone or whatever, that you're sacrificing your ability to reach your dreams, but in fact you're not, you're enriching it,
The Central Library はただ大量の本が置いてあるだけの場所ではないことがよくわかります。建築家のバートラム・グッディはこの図書館が知的な好奇心を刺激し、それを満足させる手段が見つかるところであってほしいと願いながら設計しました。
子どもたちのためのいろいろなショーに使われるこの手の込んだパペットティーロは子どもたちを想像の世界に連れて行ってくれます。
帽子が私たちのファッションや意識の中にどれほど深く入り込んでいるかを取り上げた The Hat Book が話題を呼んでいます。ジェニーン・ショラーもこの本に刺激されていくつか被ってみました。
What do a chorus line, Indiana Jones, Casablanca, and Pretty Woman Julia Roberts have in common? The answer is as plain as the nose on your face, or rather, the hat on your head.
I like this hat.
It's new. Hats add mystique, fashion, and flair. They make the difference between being dressed and being dressed up. In celebration of sombreros big and small, designer Leslie Smolin and photographer Rodney Smith have released the Hat Book.
So what was it? Was it just the love of hats that prompted you to put the book together?
Well, it's sort of a funny story. I ended up flying back from Boston late one night, and I was sitting next to a man. We started up a conversation. I asked him what he did, and he told me that he made hats.
Leslie traveled to the man's hat factory and found it good fodder for a book. For a photographer, she chose a man whose work she admired, Rodney. Soon the project became a labor of love as Rodney and Leslie became man and wife.
It took Leslie and Rodney more than 5 years to get the hat book together, but their timing was perfect. Hats are one of the hottest fashion accessories of the season.
2, 3, hit it!
It finishes off something. It's this point of originality and makes somebody look singularly different than everybody else around them. It makes them more statuesque and beautiful.
Are there some people who just can't cut it in a hat?
I think everybody can wear a hat and have it look really well on them. It's just finding the right hat for the right person and the right body.
I think when you put a hat on your head, you really call attention to yourself. And I'm a fairly shy person. That's probably why I'm a designer, and I'm behind the scenes instead of out front.
But today's public personas are used to being the center of attention. There was a time 40 or 50 years ago when it was commonplace for everyone to don a headpiece. Times have changed, and these two Mad Hatters think it's due to one person.
It's John Kennedy to destroy the hats for people. I mean, if you look at all the inaugurations prior to Kennedy's inauguration, everybody was wearing a hat. And then John Kennedy didn't wear a hat, and being youthful and energetic and
having great hair.
And having great hair meant not wearing hats. Keep your head just the way you were, and then just bring your eyes to me.
By the end of the day, they had me convinced that hats are vogue again.
A hat to me is just sort of more of something I can use to really discover and find great beauty in people. And beauty connotes style and humor and grace and all of those things. This is a quote here from Margaret Atwood who said, "I myself have 12 hats, and each one represents different personality. Why just be yourself?"
I myself had 6 hats stacked on top of my head at one time. I felt like anybody but myself. Nonetheless, I am Janine Sherrill for the Wow Wow Entertainment Report.
ジェニーンがファッションを通して過去と現在をタイムトリップしたように、ここではこの図書館の歴史の重みを感じると同時に現在と未来の関係の素晴らしさを汲み取ることができます。
焼け跡から飛び立つ不死鳥のようにセントラルライブラリーはロサンゼルスのダウンタウンに新しい希望と誇りを与えてくれました。この図書館の修復計画は企業の協力もさることながら一般の人の多額の税金も使われました。つまりこの図書館は本当の意味で一般市民のものなのです。
もちろん世界中からのゲストも大歓迎です。ぜひいらしてくださいね。
ワーワーエンターテイナーリポートをご覧くださってありがとうございました。また来月まで。バイバイ。